Hello and welcome to another daily devotion. As this week we're following up on this week's sermon where Jesus calls Simon and his partners to become fishers of men or fishers of people and to follow him. And Pastor Michelle and I got to thinking, what does it mean to have found your calling in life? And what does that look like? Well, the first person that I think truly that I've known had found their calling is a former church member who is since deceased, Stan Steed. Stan was a teacher. They, made the flat Stanley poster board of him and had him at school, but he taught young children not just in the classroom, but also in the classroom of life, how to be kind to people, how to be loving of your neighbors. And though that might not be the explicit language used in school, he exhibited that through a wry sense of humor and sarcasm and through a great persona of seeing the world through the eyes of a kid. And I don't think Stan in his 80s ever outgrew that. He was still a kid at heart, playful, full of wonder and curiosity. And he also, very much like Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, really worked in his classroom and in his life for all God's children to see their brothers and sisters, regardless of poverty or wealth, regardless of skin color or different religion, to see the value in the person sitting in the desk across from you, the person at the pencil sharpener with you, the person out on the playground with you. And he taught that in the classroom of life. To me, Stan found his calling as a teacher, but his discipleship and his life with Christ, his faith, was lived out in the classroom of life every day. The Apostle Paul, when he's talking to his young church, says to them, his students, "You yourself are our letter, not written on stone tablets as God gave the law to Moses, but you are our letter, our example. You are what we've taught you, written not on stone tablets, but on human hearts." 2 Corinthians 3. And I've always loved that image, that with the love that we teach our children in a classroom or at home, they become a letter, hopefully, or the things we teach as a pastor or deacon or leader at the church. You are the letter that reflects those teachings, ideally, that goes out into the world and lives them. And in that way, Stan lived out his calling, where his passion and gifts met the calling of God, and they planted seeds throughout the life of many a young person in Downers Grove. Speaking of seeds, one other thing you might not have known about Stan was he is a green thumb, and all around the church, the hostas that are around the church are from the garden of Stan Steed. He would clip them, divide them, and share out of his plants, out of those abundance. And soon, over the years, they filled in nicely the gardens around the church. One man's generosity, planting seeds wherever he taught, wherever his voice was heard and his feet took him. What's your calling? And where does your passion meet God's needs in this world?